basketball countries. And we are excited to see both of them hit the court. I'm Jeff Taylor, joined by Mike Taylor, already in this group today. Greece winning against Jordan, and now, without a doubt, the main event.
The main event, a lot of excitement, packed house to see the United States. They want to get off to a great start here, make a great first impression, let everybody know what type of team they are here in the tournament. And again, you know, you've got a team that plays with great pride, New Zealand. It's going to be an interesting game tonight. Again, as we've said, the first game, very important for every team to set the tone for the tournament.
Well, these two countries have faced each other before at the FIBA Basketball World Cup in Indianapolis. The USA beat New Zealand 110-62, but that did not stop New Zealand from finishing higher at that event. They actually reached the semifinals while the United States went out in the quarterfinals. And then these two teams squared off again 9 years ago in Spain. I can't believe how fast time has gone. And the USA won that game as well, 98-71 on their march to the title. You saw Pero Cameron, who was the star, or one of the many stars, in fact, of the New Zealand team in 2002. He made the All-Star 5, now is the head coach. And his son Flynn plays for this New Zealand team. And for the USA, it's a new team.
And this is a really wonderful thing for USA basketball. I think they've done a fantastic job putting together this roster. I think the roster is really built well for the FIBA game. And now these young players in the FIBA game can take the challenge to try to get a great result here in Manila. It's going to be really exciting to watch these guys develop and grow throughout the whole World Cup tournament.
Well, the NBA obviously hugely popular in the Philippines, and they packed the house to watch this USA team that is loaded. All players on this team are obviously NBA players, and many of them, like Jalen Brunson, just huge names who come in here tonight, come in here to Manila to make a point to get back to the top of the podium, something that did not happen in 2019 when the USA were knocked out in the quarterfinals by France.
And I think the United States has taken a look at their experiences and tried to really put together an intelligent roster. But again, listen to the crowd here, Jeff. We had a record crowd attend the Philippines game last night, and now a packed house here in the Mall of Asia Arena. Fantastic for basketball. Great setting for the World Cup.
So 92-71, Greece won against Jordan in the first Group C game of the day, and now it's USA taking on New Zealand. And you heard that huge roar for Austin Reeves as he was the last man off the bench for the USA. Obviously, a lot of Austin Reeves fans here in Manila.
Fan favorite, Laker fans.
Look at that, USA number 2 in the FIBA World Ranking, Greece number 9, New Zealand number 26, and Jordan at number 33. And that just shows you how good, how competitive this New Zealand team is. I mean, they're always there, thereabouts, playing in the big tournaments. We're now going to have a pause for the playing of the national anthems.
Please remain standing for the national anthem of USA. Thank you for joining us for the national anthem.
So the national anthems have been played. Teams are going to meet at midcourt. And we are also see Pedro Cameron on the left and Steve Kerr on the right. And we're also going to have the famous haka, well, the haka, which New Zealand sports teams always have before games. But before that, let me introduce the referees: Manuel Mazzoni, Boris Krajic, and Park Hyung-jin from Italy, Slovenia, and Korea. So here's the haka. I'm just going to turn it over to the Tall Blacks. So that is the famous haka, and I'm sure that a lot of these U.S. players have never experienced that, and it's always a thrill for anybody to watch it, Mike.
Jeff, one of the fantastic things about international basketball are the different cultures and the different styles that we see. And this is such a special thing for the New Zealand culture, and wonderful to see. There's so much pride.
Well, talking about New Zealand, their starting five tonight is going to be Ruben Tarangi, Finn Delaney, Shea Illy, Yanni Wetzel, and Jordan Natai, with Leafa, Britt, Flynn Cameron, Toy Smith-Milner, Hiram Harris-Brown, Fotu, all coming off the bench. And there's Isaac Fotu, one of the top big men for New Zealand. Plays in Japan now with Utsunomiya Brex.
Again, skillful big man, really mobile. A lot of experience in different countries throughout the world. As you say, currently in Japan. You know, he'll be a matchup challenge perimeter-wise for these American bigs.
And Finn Delaney, of course, he played last season with Telecom's Basket Bonn, helped them win the Basketball Champions League. What a great season he had, and also the German club. And
we have to appreciate the skillful and intelligence.
Look at this, Pedro Cameron, FIBA Hall of Fame, and one of the most beloved, I would suggest, in the FIBA family. I mean, he is so popular. He doesn't want to hear about the heroics of 2002. That's in the past for him, jokingly, but everybody really knows Pedro. They like him. You coached against him, didn't you?
Yes, I coached against him a long time ago in the British Basketball League. Great person, really great coach.
For the starting five for the USA, Mikal Bridges, Brandon Ingram, Anthony Edwards, Ant-Man, Jalen Brunson, and Jaren Jackson Jr., Halliburton, Johnson, Banchero, Portis Jr., Hart, Kessler, Reeves, all coming off the bench. And there he is, Anthony Edwards. You know, he's the 2023 version of the 2010 Kevin Durant for me. He's really established himself as the go-to guy. It's going to be great to see him develop himself and build his name and his game. Jalen Brunson, obviously a two-time champ, Villanova, big-time star in the NBA. And don't forget, he's already won a title with the USA. Jalen Brunson is a really crafty guard. He gets into the paint and scores. It's going to be fun to watch him as well out here tonight. Of course, that was with the under-19 team in Heraclion several years ago. And Steve Kerr also played for the USA back in 1986. And here he is. He was the assistant coach with Greg Popovich in the last cycle at the last World Cup. And when they bounced back as well to win the gold medal at the Olympics. And I guess he probably learned a lot about, you know, what this is all about. He already had a lot of insight into international basketball, but, you know, you can never get enough. Yeah, and I think that just learning from a legend like Coach Popovich, and, again, everything that Coach Kerr has accomplished with the Golden State Warriors and throughout his career, I think this is a great new challenge for him. He's got a wonderful staff over there on the bench, some outstanding coaches. Really, I'm very excited and really proud of the direction the United States is going with their basketball team. So Brunson winning that under-19 World Cup in 2015. He also won the under-18 championship in 2014. New Zealand, their 7th appearance at the World Cup, finished 4th in 2002.
Everybody make sure they see what sort of coverage they're in, okay? Look to attack if they switch. Here we go, boys, here we go.
Big moment for this New Zealand team, these New Zealand players getting ready to face the United States, who won all games against New Zealand in the World Cup, as I documented earlier. And it's a USA team that, again, I guess you don't really call this a redeem team, because they, the USA won the title in 2000, the Olympic title rather, after bouncing back from the 2019 World Cup. But clearly, we like what we've seen from the USA in the build-up.
Without a doubt. I think they've been very impressive. I love their wings. I love Brunson and Halliburton at the point. Again, I think that they've got some dynamic scoring. They've got all the pieces they need. And now it's just about growing and developing, adjusting to the FIBA style game. And again, this is where the experience from Coach Kerr working with Coach Popovich and these guys comes into play.
Yanni Wetzel playing in his first big tournament here for New Zealand with Alba Berlin in Germany. And he actually had to make a choice once between tennis and basketball, and he chose tennis. But then ultimately, he switched over to basketball.
He made a good decision. But you got to love the multi-sport athletes, Jeff.
Yep. Moves well on his feet. He'll be hoping this is game, set, and match for New Zealand eventually. But in all seriousness, New Zealand, Greece, Jordan, and the USA in this group, you got to finish in the top 2 if you want to advance to the second round. So here we are in the Mall of Asia. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Manila, the Philippines. We are underway, the battle between the United States and New Zealand. USA winning the opening tip here, the first game of this FIBA Basketball World Cup 2023 for both teams. And Anthony Edwards called for the travel here right at the beginning.
Again, the FIBA style, the referees officiating the game differently than the NBA. We get a travel turnover for the first play. Adjustments must be made.
Ruben Tarangi inside, drives in, gets it to Wetzel outside to Finn Delaney, and in and out, and Jackson with the rebound. Now quickly up to Brandon Ingram. Jalen Brunson drives in, hooping and scooping.
Just great body control, reads the defense so well. The deceleration and finish from Brunson.
Here's Illy, lightning quick, goes up with the left hand, and there's Wetzel, and good start for Yanni Wetzel. Quickly to the other end, Brandon Ingram runs into Wetzel, or Finn Delaney, and then the ball goes over to New Zealand.
A lot of contact under the basket. Again, great effort from the New Zealand players, rewarded with possession.
You want to finish in the top 2 of your group, you don't want to lose your first game. USA knows that. New Zealand knows that. Here's Tarangi. Count it!
And again, Jeff, the USA's got to beat screens there. Halliburton got caught in the traffic. Tarangi makes him pay. Very good job from the New Zealand offense.
Mikal Bridges, and an offensive foul. So Jared Jackson called, I guess, for the push.
I think he got his elbows up a little high as he tried to seal. No intent Again, Halliburton's got to stay connected there. Too much separation, closing him out.
And Tarangi. Quickly to the other end. Bridges. Here's the replay. And Eric Spoelstra, one of the assistants, longtime coach of the Miami Heat. Second longest tenured coach in the NBA with the same club behind Popovich. There's Delaney, got tied up. Here's Wetzel.
Really good execution there from New Zealand. We had a side pick and roll. They drew the switch. They looked for the high-low, but Jackson is dropping in the paint. Nice shot from Wetzel.
And now good reach by Wetzel, forcing the turnover. Natai over to Shea Illy. And looks off the pass, gets in and scores. Great start for the Tall Blacks.
Outstanding.
Filipinos know these Tall Blacks because they play in the same region now in Asia. So a lot of Filipino fans here familiar with the team in black. Here's Brunson pulling his way down, and Delaney with the rebound. Delaney having a hard time there, staying on his feet. And the blocking foul called on Shea Illy stops the break.
It's a good effort by Illy, but as you say, it stopped the break. That's really intelligent from him. USA is, again, they've got to stay within their system, get to the second side of plays. The natural instinct for these players is to just score one-on-one, but the difference in FIBA, now you have a second defender that's in the lane, whereas in the NBA, because of the rules, you have most of the time more space to play and finish.
I tell you, they showed that highlight of Illy's basket. Sensational. Here's Brandon Ingram. Ruben Tarangi in his first World Cup with New Zealand, injured the last time, and another drive for Shea Illy. Plays in the NBL with Melbourne. There's Mikal Bridges over to Ingram, and does not drop. Illy looks up the court. Shea Illy gets in the paint. Nice bounce pass. Nope, gets away. Wetzel couldn't get it. Ingram up to Edwards. Good hustle, Bridges, but now Tarangi goes the other end, and the way this game is going for New Zealand, they like the open floor. Here's Delaney. Good! The three-pointer! Finn Delaney, look at this. The Tall Blacks storming out to a 14-4 lead over the United States.
Great start for New Zealand, exactly what they want.
And Isaac Fotu is going to come into the game, and Isaac Leepa also coming in. So Wetzel working hard, and a tie gets coached up from Cameron as he goes out. Here's Fotu, one of the senior statesmen in this team.
And USA needs to keep their composure right now. It's a long game. We've got a great start from New Zealand. Stay poised. Let's get better execution and finish our plays.
Fotu, his shoulder bandaged, you can see it, playing in his third straight World Cup for New Zealand. And Brunson drives in, and again, a lot of contact, no call either way, and New Zealand bring it the other way. And I think, you know, having watched the USA fall behind big time against Germany in the warm-up, you know that even if they fall behind, they'll have the capacity to come back. Here's Illy. Now the ball to Mikal Bridges. And Bridges goes down and earns a trip to the free throw line.
You know, that's the challenge right there for New Zealand. The length, athleticism, coming at pace. Look at Bridges, splits between the defenders, draws the foul.
So they call the foul on Tarangi.
What's interesting here early, you see Pero Cameron going to his bench.
And bringing in his Flynn Cameron as well as Toby Smith-Milner.
Yeah, short shifts for his guys, trying to get everyone a feeling for the game. Trying to keep the intensity high.
And Mikal Bridges misses the first. There's Grant Hill. Of course, he was helped put this team together. He's taken over from Jerry Colangelo's position, the man that really, I think, put USA Basketball on that dominant track back after the 2004 Olympics when he hired Mike Krzyzewski as the head coach. Now Grant Hill is in that role. Glenn Cameron played his college basketball in America. Here's Fotu, who was fouled as he turns. Fouled by Bridges. Watch this.
And you know, a lot of confidence, or a lot of contact both ways.
Yeah, I think Mikal Bridges has a great point. He does definitely get hooked, but on the other hand, he was shoved out of the way before that.
But what was interesting was the decision from New Zealand. Instead of attacking Jaren Jackson with a guard 1-on-5 up top, they threw the ball in the post to Fotu.
It's quite physical, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Zone on the end line for USA.
Leafa puts it up, and Taranga kept it alive. And it's going to be USA Basketball. Steve Kerr up on his feet, along with T. Lou as well, one of his assistants. And boy, Anthony Edwards loses it and almost got away with a foul there. The reach, Leafa. Taranga, the injury kept him out of the last World Cup. Anthony Edwards, tell you what, that is a dangerous prospect trying to dribble the basketball in front of him.
Great hands, poked loose the ball, almost got the steal. But again, we've said this is a newly formed USA team. They've got to keep their composure here. It's a new experience for these guys.
Flynn Cameron, you can not count that one. He was a star in last year's Asia Cup team in Jakarta. And the bump on Smith Milner, who captained last year's team in Jakarta at the Asia Cup, where New Zealand finished third. And this is not a good prospect having to guard him. So Halliburton gets off the bench. Hart comes into the game. Banchero is in the game, and Austin Reeves is also going to come in. I'm guessing for Anthony Edwards once he finishes with his free throws. So Brunson sits down. He was the MVP of the Under-19 World Cup back in 2015.
He's a fantastic player. Gets in the paint, great body control. But, you know, we talk about teams in this group that have had certain strengths or advantages with their depth. Look at the USA bench. This is 10 players deep that can really positively impact the game.
I could be wrong, Mike, but Austin Reeves might just be the most popular player here.
A lot of Laker fans, a lot of Laker fans, and a lot of Austin Reeves fans in the building tonight.
Well, if New Zealand keep playing the way they are, there might be a few more Tall Blacks fans because they've been outstanding here at the start.
But one thing we see here, Jeff, is now we have a switching lineup with USA.
And the foul called on New Zealand as they tried to defend against Banchero. Can't turn it over.
So
good defense.
With USA early in the game, the size and rim protection from Jaren Jackson, they're in a drop pick and roll coverage trying to force the ball handler weak. Again, there's no ball pressure at the point of attack in that situation, and a lot of these FIBA guards can make plays. Now we make the adjustment, and there's a switching lineup. Let's see if New Zealand is able to effectively attack it. But the point for Team USA, for USA, is to get out in transition and get some easy baskets so that they can kind of get a better feeling for the game as they adjust to these new experiences here at the World Cup.
And Banchero makes the second. His father is actually of Italian descent. And there was talk that Banchero was going to play for Italy at one point, but ultimately the #1 draft pick in the NBA last year.
Part of a really great young Orlando Magic roster.
See a lot of their players, so many NBA players, a record number of NBA players at this World Cup. There's Cameron, just threw it just off the side of the rim. Not sure about that shot. Halliburton, no-look pass. And Banchero whips it over to Austin Reeves, but over his head. And some turnovers starting to creep into the play here. Both teams, actually. So first time out of the game, nearly 6.5 minutes into it. Look at the replay.
Again, it's the right idea, but you say a lot of times the players separate your play. He tried to make the pass across his body, wide open Reeves. Could you imagine if Reeves hits that shot, how this crowd would react?
You gotta be sharp on everything. Passing, screening. Don't pick your dribble up first. Dribble, get through our stuff, all right? Flow forward.
Hey, once you've done your initial jam, get back to the ball line. Like we're in the ball, get pass ahead, and then we go through guys through back.
Flow 4. They're gonna switch. Then we get to our space here, all right? Let's go wide cross here, wide cross. Here we go.
Halliburton's in. Good passes over the top. Halliburton's in.
So it's been a great start for New Zealand here, attacking the basket. Here's that fantastic finish you talked about from Ili.
Tremendous player.
Look at this play. And this is, again, pass fake, keeps the defense, the shot blocker away, and finishes that extension.
4 points here for Shea Ili.
So let's see how Pero Cameron and his tall blacks will attack the switching defense here. It's a great adjustment from Coach Kerr and the Team USA bench.
And offensive foul.
I think we have a moving screen call
On Leafa. Isaiah Leafa. So he's going to go out.
You know, the last two possessions for New Zealand have been no passes, just the first ball handler trying to attack their matchup and get to the rim.
Playing Cameron back into the game. USA slowly but surely closing the gap.
Again, with Banchero at the 5, it's a 5-out offense.
Banchero catches it, goes up. Gonna be tough to stop.
Austin Reeves is a one-man momentum builder, getting the crowd into the game.
Cam Johnson also in for the USA. Here's a Hart. USA picking up the defense. Delaney spins, turns, and goes up. And the rim protection was there from Banchero, who passes up the Reeves. And great hustle down by Halliburton to get the 2. And the USA pulled to within 2. And an offensive foul again.
But Jeff, you could hear as the post-up was happening, Halliburton was yelling, "He's holding my arm, he's holding my arm." Fotu hooked his arm and tried to draw the foul. Excellent officiating right there, not being drawn into it. Halliburton shaking out his elbow.
You're right, you can see, read his lips. So Fotu goes out and Yanni Wetzel comes back into the game. Into the corner it goes. Hart drives in, misses the shot. They go for the follow, and Natai gets it, hands it off to Cameron. Cam Johnson guarding Wetzel, and Wetzel, as he turns, he is fouled.
So, Jeff, we've seen 3 post touches for New Zealand players, and on every one, first contact spin to the baseline. This has to be discussed and adjusted with the Team USA, with USA Basketball game planning defensively. Do not give your opponent contact in the low post.
Ili, nice bounce pass. Wetzel, great recovery from Cam Johnson.
And this is a lineup that can be super effective as the tournament goes on with their switching and ball pressure.
Cam Johnson. And Delaney gets into the paint. He goes hard to the basket and scores. Strong.
First 2 possessions, there was the rim protection. That time not there. Delaney with a great finish.
Austin Reeves. And loses his handle. Then Banchero gets it, and he's fouled. tough break for New Zealand. They almost had the ball, but great. Boy, Bankero has been outstanding.
Yeah, he's made a difference in this game. He's a switchable big on defense. He gives them their 5-out perimeter offense, and he's a great mid-roll, pick-and-roll player. Again, finishing at the rim. This has been an issue for USA at this point. They've gotten to the rim several times. They've got to finish their plays at the rim.
Bankero misses the free throw, his second missed free throw, and USA in the lane too early. Bankero is just 20 years of age. He could still be playing college basketball for a couple more years if he wanted to. He left early. Steve Kerr saying, was I in the lane too early? All Blacks, led by as many as 10 points. USA now down by 2. The tie, tough three, misses everything. Outlet pass to Reeves, and Cam Johnson denied by Illy, but the foul called. It's a good challenge by Shea Illy.
Outstanding effort.
Hopefully Cam Johnson's okay.
Yeah, he went down hard. It starts with great defense, switching ball pressure, contesting the shot, and then getting out of transition.
Good help Delaney as well with the rim protection. You can see that Johnson hits the hardwood hard.
So the challenge for New Zealand now is generating consistent good shots.
Look at that fall. I'm sure he's had quite a few hard falls like that over the years.
For sure, but he's tough. He's from Pittsburgh and former Carolina Tar Heel, as you know. So,
well, and if he was a Tar Heel.
Well, again, I love the USA wings. Bridges, Johnson, Ingram. I think these guys are really built well. And let's even throw Hart in there. They're built well to play both ends, both sides, offense, defense. Super athletic. I think they're great for the FIBA game, and we see the transition. You can even throw Reeves in there if you want with their perimeter players, the wings for USA.
So Cam Johnson ties the game. There's Dimitris Atoudas, the coach of Greece, watching this game and understanding that, well, we got to play both of these teams. We need to really have a good look at them. Remember, New Zealand really played well. Taylor Britt now in the game. They really played well against Greece at the last World Cup in the group phase. So here's Britt, shifty point guard. Goes behind the back. Gets it, gets blocked. Another big play for Bankero. Halliburton. USA with a chance to take the lead. Look at the run. And Reeves knocks it down, the three-pointer. And the USA have moved in front for the first time. And Britt, very shifty, gets in and scores right before the end of the quarter to close the gap to 1.
Jeff, people celebrating the Reeves three, but what a fantastic change of speeds from Britt to get to the rim. This is against Halliburton.
19-18, the USA on top of New Zealand at the end of 1. Well, USA not having it all their own way early, but they've now lead 19-18.
Again, USA 6 out of 9 from the free throw line. No trips yet to the free throw line for New Zealand, but both teams shooting similar percentages in the low mid 40s.
Here's a look at the first quarter highlights.
Brunson with the deceleration and finish. USA needs to focus and finish better at the rim when they have the opportunities.
One of the 2 3-pointers for New Zealand, Ruben Tarangi.
And again, this is good execution. They drew the switch. They looked for the high-low. Jackson stayed in the paint, and there was the shot.
That was good hustle. And New Zealand get it over to Finn Delaney. And here's the man who's really changed it, in my opinion, Banchero. He's got 5 points, 2 blocks, 3 rebounds. Well, scan in the barcode to get Courtside 1891 in your smartphone for video streams, schedules, scores, and more. You definitely want it at all times, but especially during the FIBA Basketball World Cup. You can get it on Google Play or download it on the App Store as well. And Anthony Edwards called for a blocking foul.
So starting the second quarter, Banchero subs out of the game. Now we have Bobby Portis Jr. from the Milwaukee Bucks at the 5, another mobile, athletic big man. Again, the issue with USA Jaren Jackson will be in the drop, pick and roll coverage in the middle. Now let's see if they switch with him or have coverage at the 5.
Here's Tarangi, gets a little space, he puts it up and it's good.
So again, Tarangi stepping into that shot with confidence. A miscommunication between Reeves and Johnson on the coverage. Were they switching? Was there real coverage? Tarangi made him pay.
And Portis, after good work from Reeves. Walter Brown, a developmental player with the Tasmanian Jack Jumpers in the game now for New Zealand, number 23.
And we see the switch, Jeff.
Tarangi, another 3 attempt, and this time under pressure, missing it.
So again, we see Edwards drawing the foul, but I think it's really important for this newly formed USA roster to understand it's not the same floor spacing as in the NBA game. This is the FIBA game. There will be second defenders in the paint. So where he's used to just splitting by a guy and having more space to finish, this is the physicality. They've got to get higher percentage shots around the rim to finish those plays.
Well, that's a big blow for New Zealand already. The first big blow of the game. Shea Ili goes to the bench after picking up his 3rd foul. So one of the starters might not play again for the first half. That means big minutes for Taylor Britt. And Edwards makes both free throws. USA back up by 2. We've already seen what Britt can do with his slashing moves. Here goes Delaney. Portis hands it off to Halliburton. Edwards. Here's Austin Reeves, goes in. And he's fouled on his reverse attempt.
Very good floor spacing from USA in transition, unselfish extra passes, and we have a direct line drive to finish at the rim from Reeves drawing the foul.
So substitution. We've seen a couple of times where the USA are flying at the rim and New Zealand going up and playing pretty good defense.
Yeah, give New Zealand credit. They're really giving great effort in transition. They're contesting, making those multiple efforts. Outstanding effort defensively from New Zealand. It's just there's so many bodies coming at them. For USA, Jeff, it's important that they run the floor with lane discipline. They've got to maintain spacing to make the game easy in transition.
Well, I'm not sure LeBron James is going to appreciate that sign. I mean, LeBron is a fan of Austin. There's no need to create any controversy here. Let's don't lose perspective. Leafa. 4-point lead for the USA. Tarangi drives in, Good effort, but it's Johnson with the ball. Hands it off to Tyrese.
Beautiful.
Portis open, and Britt gets it up. We saw Wetzel too late, or he made the pass too late. Edwards.
Jeff, the athleticism of Bobby Portis to run the floor and get to the corner for an open three and then get back and steal that ball. This is your 5-man on the floor right now. I mean, Britt saw him. He looked like he was open. Interception.
Tarangi, that's his range. You can count it. Cam Johnson, he knows a little bit about that. He can hit those shots as well. Interesting little tete-a-tete between those two. Halliburton over to Cam. Alpha with the ball.
Good offense from USA that possession. Good look.
Oh, Tarangi's been hot. Got 9 points, 3 of 4 from three-point range. Ruben Tarangi, here he is, going strong to the basket. And Jeff, New Zealand back in front.
We saw a great ghost action.
And the timeout had been called already. It was funny because the play continued, and Steve Kerr, it was like he wasn't going to stop because he saw his team getting the break, I guess. He's like, okay, well, let's play. But they call it timeout. So let's go down to the bench and see if we can listen in to the USA coach. So the USA coach is talking things over before they have a word with their players. Again, Banchero and Mids, look at this. I mean, what can you do?
I mean, that's perfect low post defense, contest at the rim. He's coached to go straight up and challenge, verticality.
And here he gets the block. So 2 blocks. And then he's quick to the ball, the loose ball. Delaney wrapped him up as well right after that.
Banchero's been a difference maker, but I love the mobility at the 5 with Banchero and Bobby Portis Jr.
Cam Johnson sits down, and Brandon Ingram comes back in. So I mean, the thing is, there's just no drop-off when USA makes substitutions, are there? But to be fair, you could say the same for New Zealand right now. They've been outstanding. They lead at 26-25. Halliburton. You can count it!
So many weapons, Jeff.
Tarangi taking on Austin Reeves. Oh boy, terrific defense by Austin Reeves. Up ahead to Edwards. Oh boy, what a move to the basket.
Great body control, great athleticism. Just steps right by, slides right by the defender for an easy layup.
And Pedro Cameron had already asked for a timeout. Game speeding up.
Pero doing a good job trying to control the tempo.
We're fucking slow getting to where we want to get to. You're standing. He's calling for a screen, and we're just fucking standing. All right? Take it to our spots, get in it, and run the play. Do we understand? Easy. Now made that clear. Run the play. We call a play. We go through with a double pop. All right? Get back in trans. Here we go.
Lots of famous personalities in the house tonight. This is the main event in Manila. I mean, last night it was over at the Philippine Arena where they set a World Cup record crowd.
38,000, Jeff. Fantastic.
Ruben Tarangi with 11 points. He's hit 3 threes. Philippines lost to the Dominican Republic. It was a close game until the bitter end. And tough way to start the World Cup for the Philippines, but I know their fans are proud of them.
So now, Jeff, Jaren Jackson Jr. back into the game. He will have traditional pick and roll coverage for him. It'll be a drop. And early in the game, New Zealand was very effective attacking it. Let's see if they can be just as effective here at the 6-minute mark of the second quarter.
Fotu back in the game. Tarangi. USA pushing the New Zealand players out. Here's Leafa. Got it! Back to a one-point game. The Tall Blacks are shooting it. Good D from Tarangi. And it is New Zealand basketball. Tarangi argued, and the Korean referee initially pointed the other way, but clearly.
Great job from New Zealand to pick up full court and deny. Caught USA by surprise, and the deflection went off of Ingram. Again, hard work is rewarded for New Zealand here.
Well, we could hear Cameron and Pero in the last time out. He was hot. Leafa just hit one. Will it be 2 in a row? No, will not. And now Bridges, Mikal Bridges pushes Fotu out of the way, and is called for the foul. I mean, you look at Fotu and you would think he's not going to be pushed around, but Bridges is just so strong, isn't he?
The athleticism of USA it's really an advantage at several positions.
Jackson guarding Fotu. Tarangi. Well, another chance, another nope, not another make. Edwards quickly up to Brunson. Brunson turns. Edwards. Ant-Man misses.
But that's a great possession for USA. Brunson gets to the middle of the paint, sprays it out. Just missed a shot. Stick with it. Stick with it if you're Coach Kerr and the team.
Cameron. Fades. Got a good look. Fotu goes up. Great block by Bridges. Unbelievable defender. Edwards turning it over tonight. Here's Leafa's taking it right at Brunson. And the ball goes over to the USA. Excellent hustle back on defense for the Americans. Leafa will be frustrated that he missed that. And the ball bounces off his head.
This has been an excellent first half, Jeff. Both teams putting their hearts into this game. Multiple efforts, playing 94 feet.
Bridges in the corner. You know he can hit that shot. Here's Jackson. Powers his way up over Wetzel.
When he gets positioned that deep, it's just going to be difficult for Wetzel there. Great finish by Jackson Jr.
Delaney. Well, they're trying to get those quick shots up so they're not blocked, but it's affecting the shot. Look at Bridges.
But again, look at Brunson with the ball ahead in transition. The pace with USA right now is outstanding, and teams and coaches and players everywhere can see the ball ahead in transition is fantastic for your offense.
Here's Wetzel. And he gets fouled, taking on Bridges. Yeah, Bridges is not going to get away with that one coming down hard like that. This is Bridges on the offensive end on the break. So he's going to sit down, and Austin Reeves comes back into the game.
You know, Bridges was such a big part of the Suns' success, and then to end up in Brooklyn, I think it's been a great step for him to develop his game. Yeah.
From like what? Was it 14 to 24 points a game? Or
yeah,
16
he
to 24?
became a primary player for them, where he was more of a role player in Phoenix. And you can see the value here in this FIBA game. He's been outstanding despite picking up the 3 fouls here.
Cam Johnson also went to Brooklyn in that trade that sent Kevin Durant to Phoenix. So there he is, but you can see he's a terrific player, Bridges. His engine runs hot. Here's Ant-Man. Steps back, puts it up. That's more like it. Boy, what a strong play. Strong play for Delaney to get it back and to go up.
So
Reeves had a lot of ball there. Watch this.
What New Zealand has been doing to relieve the pressure is a lot of dribble handoffs as a pressure release. And this time, Delaney just attacks the basket right away. And it's, again, Reeves has done a great job defensively. This time, just a little bit too much contact, drawing the foul for Delaney.
Delaney really exploded onto the scene for this senior national team at the Asia Cup in 2017 in Lebanon when New Zealand reached the semifinals. Here's Ingram, over to Brunson. Leafa trying to guard Brunson. And Delaney called for a push on Jackson for a bump.
But again, look at the physicality that, you know, a wing like Delaney is really hugging and driving Jackson Jr. out of the paint. Great effort, but definitely a foul.
That's called a bear hug foul.
Hard show coverage there from Wetzel.
Edwards. So another chance for New Zealand. Coming up on the 3.5-minute mark in the first half. Leafa. Count it! His second three. Jackson right in his grill.
But when New Zealand needs to get a shot, they can always go to that 5-man pick and roll with Jackson in there.
Look at Reeves, goes behind his back. Oh, boys, tasty.
Tyronn Lue up on his feet trying to change the pick and roll coverage with Jaren Jackson right now.
Oh, and an offensive foul called on the tie. Or is it on Delaney? Who's that on? It's,
I mean, there was just so much contact there. It looks like it Delaney.
oh wow, what a tough blow to lose Delaney now to 3 fouls. So they called the foul because he turned into him. Shea Illy also has 3 fouls. Here's Jackson, and fouled by Yanni Wetzel. I'm actually impressed by Yanni Wetzel's strength.
I like his mobility. He's done a great job with a hard show pick and roll coverage as a 5. That's outstanding. And right there, really physical contest. Excellent pick and roll play there. Jackson Jr. slipped to the rim and attacked the basket. Gets to the free throw line.
I like these USA uniforms with the star at the on the sides, at the bottom. You like them?
I do. I really do. Red, white, blue, stars. Something to be proud of right there.
Jackson makes both free throws. There it is, the red, white, and blue.
So right now, USA has a 12. They're 12 for 15 from the free throw line compared to 2 for 4 from New Zealand.
Here's Tarangi, and just kind of left his feet. That pass up ahead of Reeves.
You'd love to see Tarangi try to finish that play right at the rim. And then again, Brunson with the right idea, just a little bit too far for Reeves. The pace with which USA attacks in transition is very impressive.
Where New Zealand have the advantage is their three-pointers. They're 6 of 13, 3 more than the USA. Wetzel again. Goes up strong this time, and again, Jackson just a wall. Oh boy, that was again a foul on Wetzel as he was trying to, well, he was basically holding on to Jackson.
And this is great teamwork from USA. We've got the high pick and roll. Jaren Jackson Jr. dives to the rim. They throw it back to the backside, feed the post. Really difficult situation for Wetzel to defend.
So Wetzel goes out of the game as well after the foul, and he has 3 fouls. So it is, they are accumulating.
But it's a result of their hard work and defensive effort. It's the athletic disadvantage they have, the size disadvantage they have against this team. There's going to be situations where, you know, you end up fouling. And that's what we have here. 3 key players for New Zealand, the Tall Blacks, with 3 fouls.
Jackson making his mark, 43-34. 9-point lead. Playing Cameron. And almost loses it. Hiram Harris in the game, cross-court pass. Here's Natai, and again, another sensational swat by Jackson, who looks a bit hurt. Foul called. So the foul on Natai. He goes out of the game. It's his 2nd foul.
So we've seen, look at Brunson giving up his body. Jaren Jackson Jr. trying to challenge. We've seen USA players take some hard falls. These guys are playing hard, giving up their body on both ends. Great effort from USA here in the first half.
And remember, they trailed about 10 points early. And the charge this time on Jackson, spun into Fotu. Fotu taking one for the team. Fotu, the former Hawaii Rainbow Warrior. That's a lot of muscle pounding into him.
Just
and
needs,
it doesn't get any easier as Jackson goes out because Banchero comes in.
And it's more difficult now. It's a switching lineup. Now they're switching defensively.
Tarangi. And Cameron tried to get it to Leafa, goes out of bounds. I mean, what, you know, with the foul trouble, what that does for New Zealand also, think about the experience some of these kids are getting. Oh, it's an incredible opportunity.
Fantastic, playing against these players they watch on, you know, NBA games all the time.
We're talking about the Flynn Camerons, the Hiram Harrises, and there's Fotu with the rebound. Leafa, bounce pass, Tarangi. Now Anthony Edwards, open floor to Ingram, give and go! And the foul as well.
So that was fantastic teamwork. 2-on-1, give and go, finish to the rim. Look at this play. Look at the athleticism. Left hand finger roll at the rim through contact. He just gets right to the rim and drops it in. But the play before, you saw a great drive from Edwards. He needs to finish stronger, shoot better shots at the basket. And this is a great response right here in transition.
New Zealand could have used Corey Webster in this tournament. It's the 3rd leading scorer at the last World Cup, 22.8 points per game, but an injury prevented him and his brother Ty from playing for New Zealand. Now it's pass to Fotu. He gets it and scores with the left hand. Final seconds, final 30 seconds, 25 seconds now. So the shot clock is off.
Jeff, did you see Brunson telling Ingram to wait before picking up the ball so that went down to a 25 seconds? It's a last possession.
Smart.
Really, really smart from Brunson there.
Floor general. Boy. He goes in, he misses. Clint Cameron's got to go. He avoids the turnover, he puts it up, and he had a great chance. And Brunson, at the beginning of his move, it looked like he got fouled. Nothing was called.
He got hammered, but played through the contact. He's talking to the referee.
45-36, USA on top of New Zealand at halftime. Wow. Just what a joy it is to be here in Manila watching this World Cup game between the USA, New Zealand, and New Zealand. I'm not sure they could play any better, to be honest.
No, fantastic effort for their team. Again, the effort's there. They got off to a great start. You can see the numbers. Free throw advantage, 18 attempts, 4 attempts, 14 makes, 2 makes. The three-point shooting for New Zealand was fantastic early there. Again, as expected, 23 rebounds to 19 for USA, 13 assists to 6 for New Zealand. It's been a really well-played first half.
Edwards doesn't seem like he's had that great of a game, but is leading him in scoring with 10 points. Tarangi has 11, Delaney 6. But the guy that really impressed me was Banchero early. He really changed the game when he came into the game.
He changed the game and allowed them to get to their switching defensive lineup, allowed them to get to their 5 out. You know, again, Edwards with 10, 5 rebounds, Finn Delaney. But, you know, again, these guys were important to their team. For me, the three-point shooting was really good. Tarangi sparked the team in that first half.
Well, they came out and started hitting some shots, and that's been why they've been able to really give a good account of themselves, Tarangi especially.
You just love that they attack with confidence, not backing down. And we're witnessing, you know, the growth and development of this USA roster, adjusting to some of the FIBA style of play. It's just an adjustment they've got to learn to go through.
Well, as we look at these highlights, I mean, the other thing I think it has to be said for New Zealand is, you know, back in '92 when Angola played the Dream Team, they were getting their autographs, you know, before or after the game. I can't remember. You know, it's a great opportunity for New Zealand, but this is a basketball game. They played in these international tournaments. You know, playing USA is kind of something that they've grown accustomed to.
They're lacing up their shoes, they're putting their uniform on, and they're coming out here to compete. It's not time for selfies right now. They're trying to challenge themselves, and they're doing a great job. Pero has these guys really focused, and they're giving great effort. You know, again, there's some things they need to clean up, some things they need to do better, but it's been a really hard-fought first half of play.
Whatever our gender, color, belief, or capability, we are all on the same team.
We have the power to change lives through basketball.
Together, we are stronger. No matter your origin, basketball can bring everyone together. Basketball for good.
Well, halfway played here in the first quarter. Find Melly. Melly goes up, and my goodness gracious! Nico Melly, are you kidding me? Well, he just served up the Hellside defense.
Here's Vucevic again. Count it! 27! And the Chicago Bulls star is right now the Montenegro star.
Outside step up, pick and pop.
Bounce pass. Oh, and going up, and Tadas with the foul. Also going to the line for an and one. So did Kerskis.
I mean, fantastic zone attack. Great pass here from Brezdikas. And a fantastic finish.
I know a lot of his Orlando Magic fans are watching from home in the late night as the feed is disrupted. Kappa there.
Weak side help, really good. Josh Giddey goes in, think he's got something cheap.
Floater, no, it's a pass. Tice with the slam.
Beautifully set up by Dennis Schroeder.
Gutierrez to Stoll, now Paco Cruz over to Jaimes. Oh, what a shot, what a play, and one. Jaime's showing some athleticism.
This is a beautiful play here. Paco Cruz, great delivery, and like you said, Jeff, fantastic athletic finish.
Oh, got caught in the air, but finds the cutter. No good, though, as Latvia now 2-on-1. They go up in the air, and it is good by Spitz. Well, Lebanon now, and Coach Jad El-Haj wants to call a timeout. How about that, Mark?
Exum, here you go. Oops, that's what he wanted last go-around.
Dante Exum has been a factor in this third quarter. He is driving at will, getting to his spot. You need some help.
Goes right at the defense, tough pass. Now Canada with a chance to run. Dort, who's just checked in. Oh, he's blocked by Batum. SGA gives it back. Brooks just goes all the way to the basket. And Canada finally get on the board after a little over 2 minutes to play.
Way in the flush. That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
Well, it has been quite a night for the New Zealand Tall Blacks. They jumped out to a 10-point lead, thanks in large part to the play of Ruben Karangi. He's got 11 points, 3 of 6 from three-point range. And it was had to be really a big thrill for the fans back home watching this game. Karangi playing in his first World Cup. Injury prevented him from playing in 2019. And now we can see, you know, how big of an absence he was, because he is one of their best players.
He's been a leader right from the start, hitting those threes, finishing at the rim, making plays. Very, very impressive first half from Ruben Karangi.
And for the USA, Anthony Edwards. Surprise, surprise.
Again, he asserted himself through the preparation games as the main go-to guy. There's high expectations for him as a young player to assert himself. The talent is there. He's just got to adjust to the style of play, find ways to finish stronger at the basket, create good shots for himself. But you can see the pace, the tempo, the transition. When USA can get stops and get out and run, they're really impressive.
Just 22 years of age, and is going to be around for a very long time. So you can see he's had a few misses. He's also turned it over a couple of times, but at the end of the day.
Yeah, he'll probably be thinking to himself, like, I can play so much better. I need to be more efficient. But again, I want to say everyone needs to be patient with the USA team. This is a newly formed roster, and they've got all the pieces, all the tools. They've just got to make the adjustments as efficiently, as quickly as possible, and I believe Coach Kerr and staff are going to get these guys going in the right direction.
New Zealand coming out of the changing rooms. USA already on the court. And again, this is the first game at the World Cup for both of these teams. Not necessarily for some of the New Zealand players, because you know, they've been a part of the national team program, but for the USA, they've assembled this team. And Grant Hill, Steve Kerr really put their heads together, and they came up with what they felt like was going to be the best team.
Yeah, and again, look at their 5 men, for example. When they play against the big size, physicality, traditional centers, you've got a Jaren Jackson Jr., an all-NBA defensive player, just fantastic rim protector, size, length. You've got Walker Kessler, who hasn't been into the game yet, as depth. But then you also have the versatility in lineup to play with undersized 5s, Banchero and Bobby Portis Jr. This is a complete, well-built roster, and now it's just about developing and growing together in this tournament.
Although it's kind of funny to call Banchero an undersized 5.
Well, in the
He's
NBA,
6'10".
yeah, he's the athleticism and mobility. In the NBA, he's a 4.
Right.
But you see the athleticism and mobility here, super impressive, that he can play as an undersized 5, switching on defense, and then giving the opportunity to play 5-out offense for the USA.
So Tarangi has 11 points, and I guess kind of unfortunately for the New Zealand team, the Tall Blacks, the Kiwis, you know, they lead the game in fouls. They've got 3 key players, Finn Delaney, Shea Illy, and Yanni Wetzel, all have 3 fouls. Each has 3 fouls apiece.
But again, this is the unspoken athletic advantage of USA. We have great defensive effort from New Zealand, but they are undersized, and there's an athletic disadvantage. And when you get that effort, they're just a step slow, or there's just a situation where the USA, imposes their athleticism, and the result is a foul. I think that the great thing is these guys have 3, and hopefully they'll be able to finish the game with the same type of great intensity that they've showed when they've been on the floor.
And Greece are here scouting this game. Don't forget, you get the top two teams will advance to the second round. Greece will play USA next, so Jordan will go up against New Zealand. You don't know. I mean, it could be that Greece goes into that game at 1-1, and New Zealand goes into that game 1-1, their last game, and the winner advances. And Greece they're going to respect New Zealand.
Yeah, this is what we love about the game. There's so many different styles of play, different cultures of basketball throughout the world, and it's a lot about matchups and styles. So we'll see how things develop, but for right now, let's respect the effort from this New Zealand team. And again, let's see how things play out here in the second half.
So it's been a very big day at the FIBA Basketball World Cup. Games here. We've got the other arena, the Arenada, where they had the famous Thrilla in Manila back in the day. Muhammad Ali beating Joe Frazier. And you've got in Okinawa, they've got games. And you've also got in Jakarta, we've had games. So Venezuela pushing Slovenia early, but following to Luka Doncic and co.
24.
Let's listen in.
Make sure the 2 gets through. Ball, get that catch, and then you got a choice from there. The 2, back up to 1. We good? Staying on top 14. Ready. Hey, you guys have been talking about it. It's like under that play message. It's right down the line. Here we go, here we go.
Also, Jeff, really interesting from Pero Cameron. They've been running that loop cut or Iverson cut to get the ball to the wing.
Right, scan in the barcode, folks, to get the FIBA Basketball World Cup app. Roster tracker, all the stats, the results, squads, videos. Download it on the App Store, get it on Google Play, or scan in that barcode right there.
So to finish that thought, they get the ball on the Iverson cut, loop cut to the wing, and then as they switch, they give them the two options to play through the switch at the 2 or throw it back to the middle and attack the switch in the middle. Let's see what the Tall Blacks decide to do.
USA with possession here at the start of the second half, and Jackson scores down low. Good sign for the USA.
Nice job coming out of halftime.
Tarangi had a good open look. And Jordan Natai called for the foul. Anthony Edwards quickly up the floor. Now he steps back, puts it up and in. That's a 2, but the lead is biggest now, 13 points.
So here comes the loop cut. Tarangi on the wing. Let's see if we switch. Here's the switch. They go into the post on Brunson.
And what a release from Finn Delaney.
And again, that's an excellent attack of the mismatch there from New Zealand.
A little Euro step, and Anthony Edwards losing control of it.
Edwards had Bridges on the wing.
Nice pass. And great recovery. Great hustle from Illy. Incredible. And he's going to get to the line.
Beautiful.
Look at Illy. I mean, he is a leaper. And the way he can take the contact and score, that's impressive. So he gets it back to a 9-point game.
Illy with the great delivery and then the extra effort to follow the shot. Great finish.
So the rare trip to the free throw line made by Shea Illy. 4 fouls on Mikal Bridges as well, so he's out of the game. He's in the game, rather. But he could be out of the game soon. I wonder if they know he's got 4 fouls. Or maybe they're not worried about it. If he fouls out, he fouls out. Here's Brandon Ingram. Follows up his miss. Brunson for 3. That's good.
So again, Ingram can be a really impactful scorer for USA. Follows his shot and finds his teammate. We need those extra passes if you're USA.
Oh, good pass back to Yanni Wetzel. New Zealand, the passing game is very clever, isn't it?
Clever, and Pero Cameron wants the goaltend for grabbing the net. The question was it Wetzel or was it one of the USA defenders?
Well, I think, but what about the ball when it was released? Wasn't it underneath the hoop?
It could have also been the ball, yes.
Watch this again. So the ball is released by Wetzel. It's actually, oh no, that was, I mean, it never had a chance of going in.
That's maybe the call because it was under the rim. It was never over the rim. It wasn't technically a shot. So, Jeff, we've had a sub from USA. Bancaro is now in the game for Jackson Jr., but we still have Bridges out there with 4 fouls.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
The way he's playing, you would not be surprised if he picked up another one. I mean, he's playing physical basketball. Ingram travels.
Again, they've just got to make the adjustment. They got to go through some drills and practice, work on footwork, work on putting it on the floor.
USA not looking enamored with the traveling call.
But again, there's been countless players who've gone to play overseas who have gone through that, you know, adjustment. It's regular.
Yeah, I mean, it's Illy open for three.
Jeff
is off the backboard.
This was a great adjustment from New Zealand. Instead of running the loop cut, Iverson cut all the way over, Tarangi came in to set a small pick and roll, and Illy was wide open. Great adjustment from New Zealand, just couldn't follow through and knock the shot down.
Tarangi on Edwards. Now they switch to Wetzel. Banchero open on the baseline.
So again, if you're going to hard show with Wetzel on that side pick and roll and a pick and pop, your low man has to come out there and contest. Banchero makes him pay with an open shot.
Lead back to 12. Foul on Ingram. Yeah, what I was going to say about the traveling is, I mean, I know that, like, in past international competitions, Spain especially, always believing some traveling has taken place from the U.S. players that they get away with in international competition. Here's the pass to Wetzel.
That is a skill to hit the roller. Illy did a great job. Wetzel did a great job diving to the rim.
Quick pass to the open Bridges. And Delaney with the rebound. And Delaney called for the charge. Brunson draws another one.
Jeff, you remember earlier in the third quarter, they got the switch, and he went to the basket and hit Brunson hard. You see, it's the second bump. That's really intelligent defense. A lot of times you may even get called a flop warning if you try to take it on the first contact.
Right.
Referees are not going to call that first one, but that is when you go for that charge, and Brunson took it solid. Really good defense from Jalen Brunson there.
Mike, this New Zealand team, they're down 10 and coming up close to the midpoint of the third quarter, and they have to be getting confidence from this, thinking if they can play like this against the USA, they can play with anybody.
Oh, I agree with you 100%.
Edwards drives in and just powers his way up for the layup.
The strength and athleticism to finish there, impressive.
That's only about ready to tee up Anthony Edwards. He's wanting the foul to be called on his drives. And now Brunson calls for a push.
But again, this is defensive discipline. It's right in front of the official. And he's upset because he's been hit several times on those low post plays. But again, you don't need to hand check the guy right there, right in vision of the official.
Anthony Edwards doing a good job there with the referee. Just saying, smiling politely, say, okay, I got the message. Oh, what a great play by Hart. Oh, Natai got away with a push on Bridges. Illy for three. Shea Illy bang hits Brunson. Look at this. New Zealand have cut it to 9. Oh, what a spin. Look at Brunson.
And this is what makes him a special player. His body control, his ability to play strong and post up as a point guard, impressive.
Johnny Wetzel not able to get a good shot with Banchero behind him. Edwards again. And 2 free throws coming to foul on Harris.
When coaches talk about pressuring the rim in transition, this is an example. Pushing the ball and just pressuring the defense by attacking the basket. Is someone going to step in and help, pass it to your teammate, or no? Drawing the foul.
Wetzel goes out for 2, comes back in. Edwards misses the first. Tarangi sits down. Great game by him today. See number 42 there, Fotu, back in the game. You know why he's number 42, Mike?
Why, Jeff?
Fotu, his name, Fotu.
I love that.
My kids would love that.
I love that.
That's a dad joke.
That's fantastic.
But actually, I understand. That's why.
I wish my name could be numbers.
Okay, Illy guarded closely by Edwards. Fotu gets it back to him. Back to Edwards. Or back to Fotu, and then great defense by the USA.
Yeah, you know, people will talk about Anthony Edwards offensively, but his ball pressure right there, again, the multiple efforts here, the help from Brunson.
That ball went off of, maybe went off Brunson. Well, I guess if they had challenged it, maybe they would have gotten it, but I guess they don't realize that was the case. Now the play has resumed. Austin Reeves in the game as you hear the roar from the crowd. Gets it back to Banchero, and that's a charge. No, they're going to call a block. I thought that was a charge.
But again, after the last time, I think that's the right call.
Okay, yeah.
After the last possession on that side pick and pop, the low man has to come over there, and Banchero hit the shot. This time he attacks the closeout. Just got to square him up a little bit better and draw that charge. But a better active low man help defense right there from New Zealand.
Well, Steve Kerr knew he was looking for a block from the very beginning.
Because if you're taking the long step, shorter is better.
Eight points. $13 points. The advantage. Flynn Cameron in. Takes the tough drive. Fotu crashes the board. Good job getting it back on. Nice handoff to Hiram Harris. Matai couldn't catch it. Here comes Reeves on the break. And lays it up and in. And Pero Cameron calls for the timeout. And, you know, with some of the less experienced players out there, New Zealand not quite as efficient here. But this is the tie.
They were not on the same page with the play call, and it became just a one-on-one situation, lost control of the ball. And again, Austin Reeves just making plays. Look at this finish.
Well, Anthony Edwards has, again, maybe started a little bit slow, not as efficient as he wanted to, 4 first-half turnovers, but what a surprise. He's leading this team in scoring with 14 points. And as you said, Mike, his defense is just terrific.
Again, Anthony Edwards will aim for more efficiency and better efficiency in his play. But the fact that he can come out here and really impact the game on both ends like this is a great sign. The expectations are growing. The reputation is growing. And everybody, again, wants him to grow into that go-to guy, great role. But it's a process. It takes time. I think this has been a really solid first performance from Anthony Edwards and Team USA.
Biggest lead of the game for the USA, 15 points. Banchero guarding Flynn Cameron. And he carried it. Palming. Looked like he wanted to pass it.
They need to be more decisive with what they're going to do against the switch.
Halliburton back in. Brunson. They form the backcourt. Reeves, Hart, and Banchero. Here's Reeves. Going up against Natai. Loses his handle, but gets it back. Going up against, not Natai, rather, Torrey Smith-Milner. Here's Reeves. Puts it up from the elbow. That's good. What does Steve Kerr say? He says, boy, it was tough against him in the playoffs. I'm glad he's on my team right now. Look at him pass it. Nice. Torrey Smith-Milner, and fouled while attempting the three by Reeves. So 3 free throws for Smith-Milner.
And again, you see this New Zealand team huddling at the free throw line. That's a sign of a really connected team, a team that's really together, communicating, getting the next defensive call, everybody on the same page. Again, I love that. That's a sign of a well-coached team and a really connected team, these Tall Blacks here.
17 points is the biggest lead for the USA, and it just goes to show how tough it is. You could play as well as you have if you're New Zealand and you're down 17, now 16. But again, you know, we've seen it for every single game in this arena at this World Cup. We've seen really competitive games. And then the favorite team just kind of pulls away, right, you know, in the second half, fourth quarter. He makes the second. Smith-Milner again, he captained New Zealand at the Asia Cup last year. Did a great job. And he makes all 3. Goes back to a 14-point game.
USA with a 2-point guard lineup here, both Halliburton and Brunson in the game.
Reeves. The switch comes. Oh, wonderful defense by New Zealand.
Tried to force that pass. He had Hart wide open in the corner.
And the kick from Banchero. There's some USA fans and I think family watching the game tonight. Into Fotu, spins, turns, puts it up and in. Great shot by Isaac Fotu. And it's back to a 12-point game now. New Zealand not going quietly. Just under 13 minutes remaining in the game. Banchero pulls up at the elbow.
So, Jeff, you have a 5-out formation. You have some screening, splitting action with great shooters out there, and it's an isolation for Banchero pull-up jump shot.
Leafa, he hit his couple of threes, but he misses that one. Traveling on Halliburton. There's the Jordan coaching staff. Wassam El Sus in the middle. They also will be playing both of these teams. And then all of the celebrities here in the Philippines that have got courtside seats. So Fotu really giving his all tonight. Sits down. And again, Yanni Wetzel back in. Hart guarding Tarangi. Tarangi drives hard, gets to the basket. He's got 13.
Right to the rim. Great job, Ruben Tarangi.
Halliburton gets it right back. Leafa, Reeves went for the steal. Chance for New Zealand. And Hart again went for the steal, and Wetzel goes up strong. Remember, New Zealand can play fast. They led the World Cup in scoring on average in China 4 years ago. Reeves steps back. Now Banchero wide open. Oh, boy. What can you do? You kind of got to pick your poison.
Yeah, you would rather have Banchero shoot a 3 than Reeves.
Banchero's been outstanding tonight. Shea Illy.
ghost switch.
Tarangi again, drives. What a finish. He's been outstanding.
Late clock ghost. They drew the switch, and then for Tarangi to get that shot off and score, impressive.
Reeves, little great defense. Here's Cam, over to Hart. Banchero again, shoots over Wetzel, and again, we are seeing Paolo Banchero in all his glory tonight. He has been sensational. Great job, Reeves. Hands up on defense. Cam in the corner. Doesn't drop. And Hart. Great work from Hart.
Yeah, very underrated.
Showing some heart.
Yeah, Hart is showing heart. Outstanding, Jeff. But, you know, a lot of other guys will get attention on this team. But this is a two-way player and a team player. Great work from Josh Hart.
There's Bojan Dublovic watching the game tonight from Montenegro, and some of his teammates eating the palamitas, the popcorn. Dublovic, wonder if he could get us some of that.
How many times does he have an opportunity to visit the concession stand at a game? That's a great thing I'm sure he's taken advantage of.
Well, I know that he has developed probably a habit of popcorn eating in Valencia, where he's spent the majority of his career. He'll be in St. Petersburg next year. Bojan Dublovic. First free throw is good from Hart. And of course, if Montenegro advance, there's a good chance they'll play the USA in New Zealand, or New Zealand, or maybe both.
Montenegro got off to a great start yesterday as well with a hard-fought win over Mexico.
So nice sequence there from Hart. And 18-point advantage. Tarangi. And USA looking for those passes on the interior.
And we've said this before, Jeff, the passes in the paint have to be out of the strike zone. So again, below the knees or above the shoulders, that the hands are in the strike zone, and that's why it's deflected there. Great, crafty idea, but he's got to drop it off.
Leafa. And Illy with the rebound, hands it off to Tarangi, and he's going to take it back out so the USA don't get a shot. And Tarangi drives. Well, good try, but USA in command. They outscore New Zealand 26-18 in the quarter, and they lead it. Excuse me, they outscored 31-22 in the third quarter, and they lead it 76-58.
Early possession here, Jaren Jackson Jr. finishing at the rim. Strong post move. Well defended, but a good bucket. Second effort from Ingram, finding Brunson in the corner for three. Beautiful hitting the roller and finish from Wetzel, Illy to Wetzel. Again, Brunson spinning in the post, posting up as a point guard. Here was disorganization on that one possession, costly as Reeves makes him pay. And then the spread 5-out formation, isolation for Banchero, who was outstanding in the third quarter as well.
FIBA Basketball World Cup 2023, New Zealand and USA. And look at Banchero, 17 points. He hit those 2 3-pointers in the third quarter. And for a guy who wasn't getting a ton of minutes, it felt like in the build-up, maybe he's going to have a more prominent role in this team than we thought. Delaney back in the game. What a strong finish, Delaney.
I've been so impressed with these New Zealand players attacking the rim and finishing against the USA defenders. Outstanding.
And nowhere for Portis to go. Gets it back to Reeves. Reeves running away from trouble, and Jackson Jr. fouls Delaney.
Excellent defensive effort from New Zealand there.
And a lot of the New Zealand family here as well tonight, and fans. You know, talking about Jackson, we got to give him his due as well. Won the under-17 world title in 2016. Halliburton has won as well. So a lot of youth national team experience for the USA. First time with the senior team for all of them. Shea Illy fades. And somebody, I guess Halliburton committed the foul on the elbow.
So you saw the late clock matchup. Illy against Jaren Jackson Jr. They ran the ghost action to create some confusion, loosen up the coverage, and then Illy fouled on the pull-up jump shot.
Mike, how great is this World Cup? I mean, I'm just going to tell you something right now. Luka Doncic had 37 tonight.
Well, but what people won't recognize if they didn't see the game is Venezuela hit 9 threes in the first quarter and had the lead.
Wow.
And then Luka carries the team. So we have seen outstanding basketball these first 2 days of this tournament. And again, it's the beauty of different styles and different players, different games from all over the world competing in the same place.
Well, big Jonas Valanciunas, outstanding yesterday. Nikola Vucevic, player of the game for Montenegro. Now the turnover into the hands of Yanni Wetzell, a record number of NBA players at this FIBA Basketball World Cup. It is the place to be. Here's Tarangi. And Shea Illy drives in, and Wetzell crashes the board, and Illy, I think, made that layup a little bit harder than it needed to be. He was wide open to get it to Portis Jr.
What a beautiful pass from Halliburton.
Yeah, look at that great defense by Portis, leads to the steal for Halliburton. Look at the no-look to Portis. And Portis couldn't quite get it. Open floor, Delaney. They chase back. Strong with the basketball. Three-pointer. And good effort, Leafa. Now Tarangi. And he misses. He's cooled off a little bit. Halliburton. Jackson. Oh, boy, Jackson.
Halliburton feeling it in transition. 3 outstanding passes on 3 consecutive possessions.
Kazis Maksvidas as well there with his assistant, Jabinas.
But what about
for Lithuania?
What about the shirt?
The tie-dye. Even the coach wears it. The Grateful Dead.
Fantastic tradition, 1992 in Barcelona.
Look at Halliburton, no look.
Oh.
Eyes in the back of
Here it is
his
again.
head.
No look.
And Portis.
Oh, love it, love it.
The tie. Going Cameron. Had to get it to Fotu. Reeves spins. Back to Jackson. Oh, look at Jackson! A little bit of thunder from number 13.
That might be the most impressive play all night.
Leafa answers with a 3, his 3rd of the game.
Here's the isolation out of the 5 out.
Ooh. Cam Johnson called for, or rather Fotu called for the block on Cam Johnson. Notice, you see that I think Fotu had like a wrapping or something on his shoulder. He's taking it off.
Look at this highlight.
Jackson.
This is a big individual. This is your 5-man putting it on the floor, attacking the rim and hammering.
Hammer time.
The versatility and talent on this USA roster, very impressive.
You coached against them in 2019. As you look at the rebounding tonight, after the quarterfinals, and you met in the classification game. Well, you can talk about that in a second. Let's listen to Coach Kerr. Well, this is Reeves. He's special. I dare say he is the most popular player here in the Philippines for the Filipino fans.
But Jeff, it's his combination of ability to shoot the ball, but his ability to handle the ball and create his own shot. So shooting off the dribble. And I think that...
And his defense.
Yeah, you know, again, you respect his defensive effort here. But look, handling the ball, creating that 3-point shot off the dribble, not on the level of a Steph Curry, but in a similar way, the combination of ball skills and 3-point shooting.
12 points, 6 assists. Also a couple of rebounds for Austin Reeves coming off the bench.
Zone out of the timeout for New Zealand.
Halliburton. Oh, yeah. So many weapons. This USA team back to a 20-point lead. Leafa open. And here's Halliburton showing us his burst of speed. Clint Cameron trying to stay with him into Portis. An offensive foul on Jackson.
So you love the energy and passing of Halliburton here in this fourth quarter.
So this foul here is called, oh, yeah. Okay, so they're saying he was holding Delaney. So he's fouled out of the game.
And look who checks in.
Banchero.
So now we've seen them play with 2 point guards. Now we've got Portis and Banchero together. Coach Kerr using a variety of lineups, getting guys used to playing in the World Cup together.
Delaney gets in, puts it up, and the champion from Bonn, going back to Australia this season, play from Melbourne. Halliburton, another 3 attempt for him. Fotu, Leafa. It's an 18-point game. Leafa, little step back 3. Good job, Fotu knocking it over to Cameron. And a tie over to Delaney. Lynn Cameron for 3. I'll tell you, this New Zealand team is just better when Finn Delaney's on the court, isn't it?
He's an excellent player.
Here's the drive. Halliburton travels.
Dragged that pivot foot as he tried to stop his momentum.
Anthony Edwards is going to come back into the game. Brunson also coming back into the game with 4:48 remaining and a 15-point lead. Does that surprise you at all? They will come back. Cameron going out.
I think he's trying to balance the minutes. I think he's not trying to overplay anyone.
Great minutes from Halliburton, though. I mean, I just feel like everybody in this USA team's playing well.
Yeah, this has been the type of start to the tournament for both teams that you really, really like. Again, respect on both of these teams.
Here's Tarangi. Pass to Fotu. Turns. puts it up with the left hand. Brunson now has it. You know, the former New Zealand coach, Nenad Vujanic, is here. Oh, what a move from Bridges. And an elbow called, is that on Banchero? And you know also, it's on, no, it was on Bridges. So is that not his fifth? So he goes out. I thought he had 4 fouls. No, he's got 4 fouls now. I think we'd given him one that he didn't have before.
Yeah.
Illy. Oh, Banchero. Wow. That was the most emphatic block of the night. Here he is. I mean, he's just sensational tonight.
Beat it up at one end, finish it on the other.
I mean, he might be in the starting lineup in this game. He's been unbelievable. Delaney. Fotu battling away with Banchero. Banchero has got quite a number tonight. 19 points, surprisingly only 3 rebounds. But he has 3 block shots. He's 7 of 8 from the floor. I mean, his efficiency shooting-wise, he's only played 16 minutes.
2 for 2 from 3.
Look at the block there. Wow. So Delaney sits down. Hiram Harris back in. And again, the ball batted out. Fotu has it.
You know, Jeff, Banchero, the stats and numbers are important, but more important is he allows this team to switch and defend with 5 mobile players, and he allows them to play with a spread floor lineup. So the combination of Jaren Jackson Jr., a true post, and Banchero, I think this is a really well-built roster here for USA.
Now, when you coached Poland against USA at the 2019 World Cup, what was that experience like?
Oh, for us, it was the cap to a dream come true for our team. You know, making the World Cup. It was the 2nd time in Poland history in 52 years. You know, we got on a great run, beat China, beat Russia, lost to Spain in the top 8. And then I think it was like a moment for our Polish players to play against, you know, the USA was fantastic. I think our guys in the beginning were, you know, a little bit in awe playing against them. And the second half, we really attacked much better. It made it a respectable game. But I think it's something that, you know, guys are going to remember for the rest of their lives. And again, the fact that New Zealand has played so well here today, you know, I think they'll think about this game and this moment throughout their career.
Yeah, so 5, you're here, 3 here. All right, the lineup over here, 4, 2, 1. We're looking straight in. Just push them, get a catch here. All right, straight in. Where's the arc? Just get a catch in and turn around. Go shoot it straight away. 2-1. Lying down. There's a little movement for him. Yeah, line down. Let's go.
So, Jeff, you can see the discussion in Pero Cameron's timeout. They're really working together to figure out how they want to attack the switching defense from the USA. It looks like they're trying to get a post touch and some teamwork off of that post touch right away, potentially against the mismatch. A lot of experience, but what I love from this New Zealand team tonight is they're all together. They're all on the same page, trying to solve the puzzle of the switching defense, the coverages from USA. Again, play for your mate mentality from New Zealand, outstanding.
Do we have another camera? Can you give me the iron? And then I want the iron and the other one. And this one. This? No, better left. Let's go with this. Go. Slowly. Slowly. Wait. Is the flight thing? Back. Okay, now this is the moment. I want to see this and this. Go. No, but it's possible with the hand. But this is not no. Yeah. Okay. So the last.
So the successful challenge gives the basketball back to New Zealand. Grant Hill, Jim Tooley on the right, Secretary General of USA Basketball. Here's Fotu missing. And they had to get it up quickly. Hart with the rebound. Here's Bridges. Brunson. He's fouled shooting the three. Natai sends him to the deck. So 3 free throws coming for Jalen Brunson. Fotu goes to sit down. His brother Dan was in the squad. Didn't make the final cut, but he'll be a part of this tallbacks team, no doubt.
What number is he?
Probably for every other team he plays for, Fotu. Brunson makes his second, and he'll get a third. Just exceptional in the press conference the other day. Brunson talking about how pressure, doesn't really feel pressure when he goes out in these big games. He just trusts in his work.
Yeah, he's impressive as a young player.
Taylor Britt back in the game. He is. Banchero, I think, got a deflection there, got a block. There he goes again. Banchero follows up his miss. Hart, you can count that. USA close to the 100 mark. Looks like they're probably going to get there. Hiram Harris, Natai with the pump fake. And Edwards with the steal.
Great defensive discipline.
Oh, excellent work, Harris. Great work from New Zealand. Ooh, Hart almost grabbing the jersey of Britt. Walker Kessler going to come back into the game. Cam Johnson. Cameron. Anthony Edwards was excited the other day, wasn't he, after that Germany game, saying he hadn't had that much fun in a long time coming back. Banchero just put an exclamation mark on his performance. 21 points. So Banchero is going to hear the applause as he goes off. Deservedly so, and Edwards as well, the two leading scorers for this team. 21 for Banchero, 14 for Edwards. And there'll be a timeout first.
Jeff, let's remind ourselves, this is the first FIBA official game for a lot of these players, and they've done really, really well out here today. Again, New Zealand made them work for it. They challenged them. They competed, and USA has to get used to this. A team giving them their best shot.
Here's Banchero, part of his 21 points.
What you love about Banchero is he impacts the game in so many ways, but this is what USA is. They've got players that play both ends of the floor, and you have to love the structure and system Coach Kerr and this great coaching staff have provided for them. I'm very impressed with what I see in this first performance from these guys, and I think they can only get better.
Smith-Milner. Oh, got it up there, couldn't get the drop as Walker Kessler now comes in to bring the rim protection for the USA. Bridges puts it up for two. They got 97. Cameron in the paint.
Great play. Look for the side pick and pop here. Brunson called the play with a signal. Trying to get Kessler a shot.
Here he is. Does not drop. USA may not get to 100. Probably settle for 97 if they get it back. Ooh, Harris traveling. Okay, it's 97-72. As a coach, are you saying go for the 100?
Yeah, I mean, FIBA game is different than what we see in the NBA. You have to play every possession until the end because of the point differential, the small numbers.
I think they're going to pull it up as they cross midcourt. Okay, I'm wrong. Johnson's going for it. And they get it to 99. Bridges, another deuce for him. Flynn Cameron pulls up. So that's how it's finishing. I mean, once again, I don't know what it is about our games in the Mall of Asia. It has been one whale of a game, a lot of fun, very competitive, but in the end, a big score line. USA win it 99-72 over New Zealand. So they join Greece up at the top of Group C. So, Mike, New Zealand will go up against Jordan next. USA in a couple days will face Greece. And USA, I think, always felt like they were going to win tonight. But I'll tell you what, they could not have hoped for a better game from New Zealand because they were terrific.
Yeah, and again, we've seen games where we had clear favorites and clear underdogs through the first 2 days of this tournament. And I think we're going to see some now group-defining games over the next game days.
Well, USA and Greece played in a warm-up game in Abu Dhabi, and USA won that game. But they have a famous history, obviously, going back to 2006 when Greece beat the USA in the semifinals of the World Cup. And New Zealand, I reckon they'll fancy their chances against Jordan, and that'll put them in position to go out and challenge Greece.
Well, the Jordan size is going to be an issue, but I think we have the depth advantage for New Zealand if we compare the two teams. But we got to stay away from comparing games and teams before they play and let it settle out. Put your game plans together, get your teams ready to play, toss that ball up, and let's compete.
Just a terrific effort from both teams tonight in their first game here at the FIBA Basketball World Cup. Look at the numbers. USA 8 threes in the end, 9 for New Zealand. USA a lot more free throws, and in the end 9 more makes inside the arc.
Yeah, again, credit and respect to Pero Cameron and his New Zealand team. Again, they really fought. So many great plays from these guys. You know, Ruben Tarangi, Ili Delaney, all very impressive. And again, the game went according to plan, but I think both teams leave this floor feeling good about their performance and really focused for that next opponent coming up.
So the fan with the USA flag, waving it proudly after the USA get a win over New Zealand. And New Zealand taking on the #2 team in the FIBA World Ranking, and who knows, maybe by the end of this, USA will win it and eventually go back to the top of the FIBA World Ranking presented by Nike. Right now it's occupied by the winners of the last FIBA Basketball World Cup and the Eurobasket, Spain. So as USA go back to the locker room, Paolo Banchero not with them because he's being honored with the TCL Player of the Game award at midcourt. And I think that, we don't know what the thought process was for Steve Kerr coming into this World Cup with regards to Paolo Banchero. I guess you can't really make final decisions in the preparations, but I think, tonight he probably has reinforced how important Paolo Banchero is to this team.
Yeah, again, I think that it's more about building the roster to handle different lineups and situations. And today, the lineup, the difference was switching defensively and, playing in transition on the offensive side and 5-out spread offense. This was the key in today's game, and Banchero was the guy who unlocked that. There'll be different matchups for Jaren Jackson Jr. throughout the tournament. But again, this is what I like about this roster from USA. They have the ability to match up and create advantages. Basically player 1 through 10.
That was a good pass from Delaney to Flynn Cameron, who hit that shot. Delaney was exceptionally good tonight, I thought.
Yeah, I love the physicality of this New Zealand team. These players didn't back down. They played strong. They attacked the basket. Really impressive from Tall Blacks.
Man, it's an incredible basketball nation when you consider the size, the population, and their mentality is they want to compete with anybody in any sports. Obviously, they're famous for the All Blacks in rugby, but the Tall Blacks in basketball, they don't back down against anybody. But the USA team, every time we watch them play, I think they provide more evidence that they're going to be there contending deeper in the tournament.
Well, the challenge for them is to grow and develop and be more efficient. We've had some travels, we had some different situations that they can clean up as they advance game by game.
So Greece winning 92-71, USA winning 92-72 over New Zealand, Greeks beating Jordan earlier. So these are the Group C standings. USA go to the top at 1-0, Greece also at 1-0, Jordan and New Zealand 0-1. Of course, those two teams will meet in a couple of days, and USA and Greece will trade blows in what promises to be a tasty latest edition of their great rivalry in international basketball. Well, the USA arrived tonight here at the Mall of Asia for their first game. and they met a very good, determined New Zealand Tall Blacks team, but in the end, it was the Americans that won convincingly. Thanks for watching.